What did you say the name of this place was?
This is paradise.
Tide's rising. 40 yards.
The shallows.
Hello, I'm the Universal Critic. I talk about whatever I want, whenever I want. In 1975, Steven Spielberg gave us Jaws, a terrifyingly suspenseful story about a small town being terrorized by a great white shark. The film was a massive hit, and is widely regarded as the very first summer blockbuster. But like anything in Hollywood that makes it big, Jaws was followed by a string of sequels and knockoffs that tried to emulate it, but most of the time just didn't understand what made it work in the first place. Today's film, The Shallows, is a film that takes the elements of Jaws that terrified us so deeply and manages to revamp them for the modern era. The Shallows is the story of a surfer named Nancy, played by Blake Lively, who takes a surfing holiday in Mexico. Her fun in the sun is interrupted when a shark attacks her and severely wounds her leg, leaving her trapped on a rock hundreds of yards away from the shore. Alone and unable to swim to shore, both from her injuries and the circling shark, Nancy struggles to survive and to escape before she dies from either the bleeding or the vicious predator lurking beneath the rising tide. The Shallows is an extremely tense and suspenseful thrill ride, and it's worth mentioning just how gorgeous this film is to look at. The first 10 minutes or so are just showing off Nancy surfing on the beach, and the location shooting is simply beautiful. Obviously, most of the stuff involving the shark had to be done with blue screens and CGI, but the two are integrated into the real-life shots perfectly. An element that really heightens the effectiveness of the CGI is, just like in Jaws, you don't get a clear look at the shark until the climax of the film. For those who don't know, Jaws only employed this little trick after it was discovered that the animatronic shark, nicknamed Bruce, was just far too unreliable to be featured prominently in the film. With the advent of CGI, the Shallows wouldn't have to worry about that, but it's still a great stylistic choice and keeps the CGI from becoming tiring as it so often does when it's overused. Another boon to this film is a great performance by Blake Lively. There are a handful of minor supporting characters, but for the most part, this is a one-woman show. Lively is more than up to the task, and the film does a great job of portraying her ingenuity and the way she works out how to overcome her seemingly insurmountable obstacles. The movie also puts a ton of grit into her efforts at survival, not just through the convincing practical and computer effects, but also with just all the gross details of her injuries. The bite on her leg, the scratches and bruises on her face, and even the burns on her hands from toxic coral. It really sells the desperate and dire nature of her situation, and it got me wincing and squirming in my seat more than a few times. Overall, I give The Shallows a high big screen rating. Imagine if the first 5 minutes from Jaws was mixed with Gravity, and that's this movie, which is just as awesome as it sounds. I'm the Universal Critic. I talk about whatever I want, whenever I want. Goodbye.
Everybody's got some